Hi, it's Andrew from Acuity Auto-Redact. Welcome to the Data Protection Weekly podcast, where we wrap up all the biggest issues affecting data protection professionals in the UK each week. This week, I found myself needing to sign up to quite a few online services. As Acuity Auto-Redact has continued to grow, we've needed more and more sophisticated systems. And like with any online system, it's really important to know the privacy policy to make sure that the way in which they're used is going to respect us as a business, our rights as individuals to use the service, and that the data is going to be processed ethically, and that privacy is going to be respected. And what I found was a real division in these privacy policies. Some were really inclusive and really easy to understand exactly what was going on. And others felt like they were written in legalese. And as someone who considers themselves quite savvy in terms of being able to read policies, I was reading them and thinking, hang on, I'm not sure exactly how this works. I'm not sure exactly how you are keeping my data private and how you are respecting my privacy in plain English. So I went back to the ICO's advice on privacy policies, which is really, really good. They have an online generator, which is phenomenal. And I thought, well, actually, what are the 5 pillars that make a good privacy policy? Now, you might disagree with some of these, but these are ones that I think of, and that, having read the ICO guidance, I think you can reflect on and think make a really strong privacy policy. So let's go from number 1. Firstly, you need to nail the 7 core pillars. You cannot write an accurate privacy notice and policy if you don't include the absolute basics. So you need to sit down as an organization and not treat this as a box-ticking exercise. The things that have to be in the document are appropriate contact details, the type of data that's collected, where it's gotten from, where that data is found, why you have the data, the lawful basis of having that data and processing it, who you share it with, and your retention periods. And this isn't something that one person sat in a dark room can do. You need people around a table who are all the key stakeholders and decision makers in your business who can really clearly outline this. The second thing that I think you need to really look for in a privacy policy is having a really clear lawful basis that is embedded in the policy. You really need to explain why you're allowed to use this data and on what lawful basis you are processing it. Whether it's consent, legitimate interest, or a contract, it must be included and clear. As the law requires, and as a customer, I want to see that you are really thinking about the legal basis and the legal rights that you have to process my data, and as well, that you've thought about this and why you need it for your business. If you're telling me the lawful basis, you've really thought about why, 1, it's legally necessary, and 2, it's implied that you've thought about why it's really organizationally necessary. My third top tip is please write it for a human, not for a lawyer. A privacy policy is not something that a lawyer is meant to unearth and get access to when something goes wrong and that you've got to use to defend yourself. Well, it could end up being used in that situation, in that context, but its primary purpose is to really reassure people that their privacy is being taken seriously. It needs to be absolutely written in a way that people understand and that people can get their heads around. And if you're a small and medium-sized business or enterprise, that you can pick it up and know exactly how the data is being processed. Going too far into legalese can make it really unclear what is actually happening with the data. So write it in plain English so that everybody understands how you are respecting their privacy and where their data is being stored in plain English. You don't have to get into the technical jargon. You can make it really clear that data is being stored in X location for this particular purpose on this legal basis. Most people will understand that and get it completely. but make it transparent and make it clear, because actually that's how you create a robust policy. My fourth tip is to really be explicit about information rights and complaints. Don't bury this in size 8 font or make it a footnote. You must really tell people what their information rights are. You need to tell them how they can withdraw consent from giving you their data and make it crystal clear how they can complain to the Information Commissioner's Office if they have concerns or a potential complaint. And remember, if you're processing children's data, you must include explanations written simply enough that a child knows where they stand. And you will find that if you are offering a service that young people do use, that they will be interested in knowing that their data is being stored securely, safely, and that you are respecting their privacy. And this is my final tip, and it's one that I think people risk getting wrong. Include your invisible tech stack. Now, this is where most modern businesses risk falling down. Who are you really sharing data with? Does your marketing team have a generative AI tool that collates customer feedback? Is that expressing your privacy policy? Or is that something they've decided is cool and just gone to do? Tech creep happens, so keep on top of it. Does your sales team use AI note takers on their video calls? Every video meeting I've been invited to externally has had an AI note taker in it recently. These things are great at summarizing notes, but when I've been in the meetings, I haven't recognized every single one of these tools. And I have turned around to the company and said, well, what's it doing? Where's my data stored? And it's not been in their privacy policy when I've had a follow-up with them. So it's really important that if you are using a lot of these cool new tools that are coming out, or your AI assisted marketers being brought online to synthesize all your customer data, that you put this in your privacy policy. You are sharing, when you use an AI, the data of your customers or of your users with a third-party service that runs that AI. So you need to be transparent. And the one thing I would really stress is making sure that in addition to the policy, your staff know this. I was recently at an event, and the first question I asked to an AI provider was, this tool looks amazing. What is actually doing the processing of the data? What AI models are you using, in what countries, by what provider, and how do you know my data is being kept safe and that my privacy is being fully respected at all times? And the fact they could answer that and tell me made me think, wow, okay, this policy isn't just a bit of paper that someone has written and thrown away. It's really been embedded into their company culture. And that impressed me. And if you run an enterprise, knowing this and having your staff educated on privacy really reassures customers when they ask questions about it. So make the policy a living document. Well, that's all we've got time for today. Just a reminder that if you are a data protection specialist and you would like to make sure that you are redacting documents in the quickest and most efficient way possible, check out Acuity Auto-Redact. That is acuityautoredact.com, or just search for Acuity Auto-Redact on Google. We are a super low-cost automated redaction service. It's used by hundreds of customers, and it's really, really powerful at being able to find redactions that you might miss as a person. And as well as that, it makes the process super quick and easy to redact documents for DSARs. So do give us a check out. And until we talk again next week, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you.
Data protection week.